that if it's good enough for staff members, or people who work in Congress, or for members of Congress, then it's good enough for the American people. And that's where we're at. And that's why for nearly a decade, I have reintroduced in every Congress, along with Senator Gillibrand, the Family Act, comprehensive national program meets the needs of workers to take sick leave for themselves, the care of a loved one, a new child, no matter the size of their employer. And I must tell you that we've got the Ways and Means Committee with Congressman Richie Neal, who has proposed the gold standard to the White House about what family medicine should look like. We're at a moment, my friends. It really is a moment. And we have to seize it. And we need to take a look at not only the roads and bridges that we're going to focus on in the next several weeks and what that bill is going to look like, but it's more than that. It's the economic infrastructure that we have to be concerned with. We have to build back better, but we have to build back stronger. We have to create that architecture for the future so that it's in place. And I just want to say to you, we are demanding and we're shouting for paid leave because we need to protect our workers, our families, create a more resilient economy. We are demanding and we are shouting for paid leave because it is a matter of right and wrong, and we all will be diminished if we do not have paid family and medical leave. We are demanding and we are shouting for paid leave because for nearly a decade we have pushed and battled. And you know what? We are done waiting, my friends. We are done waiting. Because as I said to you a moment ago, if it is good enough for the Congress, then it's good enough for every American. So stand up, speak out as we're doing today. You're going to be heard. We cannot miss this moment. It will not come back again, my friends. Last you know that because it was over 20 years ago when we had family and medical leave. We knew it couldn't be paid at the time, but it's taken all this time for us to get to the point of having paid family and medical leave. We have a unity of purpose. We will have that unity of purpose and we'll have a stronger American. We can and we will get this done together. Thank you.
One of the main folks who can give us a roar for paid family leave has just walked off the stage. Thank you so much, Representative DeLauro. Thank you so much for joining us today. So the person that I'm next going to bring up on stage is an amazing woman who has core in her heart, care in her heart, in the core of her being. She's been fighting for paid leave, for childcare, for care, for many, many years. And we are lucky now to have her in our midst as our leader at Family Values at Work. I give you Josie Calipeni. Hi, everybody. Oh, no, you have to say it loud enough so they can hear you on the hill. Hi, everybody. Are you here for paid leave? Are you here for a caring economy? Are you here so that your families can thrive no matter where you live? Yes, okay. As Carol said, my name is Josie Calipeni. I'm the Executive Director of Family Values at Work. I am so happy to be with you all here today. And it is a monumental moment that we're in. Representative DeLauro couldn't have said it any better. But let's be clear. There's a few things that feel a little bit unknown in this moment. There's lots of conversation about what the top line number is going to be. We don't know, right? There's a lot of conversation about when this is going to happen. We were promised this in July. This is October. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen soon. But let's be clear about some of the things that we do know. We know that our families have the right to take time to care when we need it, right? Yeah. We know that if our families get sick and you need time to heal, that is our right. We should have a right to heal. Is that right? Yeah. And we know that our families, no matter where you live, we have done the excellent work with partners in over 10 states to win paid family and medical leave at the state level and at the city level. But your zip code shouldn't determine whether or not your time to care, your time to heal will cost you your livelihood, will cost you your rent. Many families in this country can't even afford a $400 unexpected expense. A $400 unexpected expense can destabilize many of our families. So when people say that they can't afford the time to care, that is just not right for the country that we live in. Is that right? Yeah. So here we are to let Congress know that the time is now. The time is now to deliver on the promises for a caring economy, to deliver on the promises of folks that have been left out of policies to date. We know that care workers, workers that make low wages, are often left out of the policies that impact our families the most. And now is the time. We're not waiting any longer. No more delays. No cuts to care. And from this moment forth, we're going to continue to make our voices heard so that everyone on the Hill, everyone in our communities know that we need time to care, and we need it when? Now. We need it when? Now. Yes. I'm so excited to be with you all here today. We know that there's action to take. So I know everybody's on social media. I know everyone has phones. The hashtags are care can't wait, paid leave for all, paid leave for all, care can't wait, and the time is now. So I know everyone needs to get on their social media. They need to hear you and hear you loud. Almost all of your members of Congress have a social media account that they pay attention to. So there are many, many ways for us to take action. I'm excited. Part of what the work that we do at Family Values at Work is in coalition, and we are a proud member of. We're in partnership with many people, and we're a proud member of Paid Leave for All. One of our partners of Paid Leave for All is Miss Melanie with Black Women's Roundtable. She's coming up right now. If you don't know, this is one bad Mama Jamma, right? Who is a giant in our midst. There are giants that walk with us. Carol is a giant in our midst. Miss Melanie is a giant in our midst. Delora is a giant in our midst. And for decades, they have gotten us to where we are today. It's an honor to pass the mic to Melanie.
And you, my sister, are giant among sisters. So thank you, Carol. Always my sister in the struggle. How y'all doing today?
Yeah.
I mean, Congresswoman got me fired up.
Right.
Are you fired up?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this fight?
Yeah.
We got a few more weeks, and we're going to make it happen. So it is always an honor and a privilege to be able to speak for and with our sisters and our brothers for something we know is critical. And if we didn't know it was critical, we know it was critical over these last 18 months. How important paid leave is. I know from my own personal circumstances about a decade ago when I had two sisters who were dying at the same time. And I had the ability to figure out a way to be with both of them and didn't have to worry about whether or not I'd get a paycheck. My paycheck didn't stop. We lost them, and they're all up in heaven 10 years ago, almost to this day. Well, one of them died would have been 10 years ago yesterday. But I was able to go to Dallas, and I was able to go to Florida, and I could just keep doing it. I could go to Mims, do what I need to do. My mother died 5 years ago. I could take the time. That should be everybody. So as they said, I represent Black Women's Roundtable. So for Black women and our families have been among the hardest hit by both the pandemic and its economic effects. This pandemic has laid bare and exacerbated the racial and gender inequities that take a disproportionate toll on Black women who do not have paid family leave. So repeat after me. It's time.
It's time.
It's time
It's time
for paid family leave.
for paid family leave.
Black women are disproportionately employed in low-wage jobs like home health aides, grocery store workers, janitorial staff, and emergency child care workers. These Black women have continued to go to work and risk their lives on the front line with their colleagues across race and gender because they are considered essential employees, but they cannot earn a single day of paid leave. Just say, that's just wrong.
That's just wrong.
That's just not right.
That's just not right.
It's time
It's time
for paid family leave.
for paid family leave.
These Black women are the least able to afford losing any portion of their income. So if an illness strikes, Black women must make the anguishing choice to go to work sick or lose pay to stay at home and take care of themselves or a sick loved one. When missing only a few days of work can mean the difference between being able to buy food or afford to pay the mortgage or rent for the month. Black women need a robust paid leave program that address these long-standing economic inequalities that challenges Black women's ability to achieve economic security for ourselves and our families. This is why Black women, white women, brown women, LGBTQ, faith, caregivers, mothers, aunties, like I am. So I gotta go pick up that 10-year-old in a few minutes, right? I'm doing auntie duty today. It's just time. And this administration, I love them. Yes, I do. But I didn't just pay you to go on a date. I paid, we voted for you, excuse me, to get the job done. So my brother president, my sister vice president, all of that administration needs to hear us.
Yep.
We voted you in a pandemic.
Yes.
We risked our lives so you could be there
Yes.
for a little while, for a long while. And it all depends on whether you can deliver for the people. I know it's a hard job, but you signed up for it. I got good friends in that building. But I told them last week, Carol, this is not negotiable. Yes, I fight for voting rights. Yes, I fight for civil rights. But this is also that.
Yes.
It's time. It's time for paid family leave for all now. So it is my pleasure to introduce another bad sister in the mix, Valerie Long. No? No? You're good. Somebody else? Yeah. Sister Valerie Long, International Executive Vice President, SEIU. Come on up, sister. It's time. It's time for paid family leave. Let's get it done. Thank you.
Ashe, right? Kind of an amazing thing when sisters and brothers get together to make change and to talk about it as if it is done. We are talking about it as if it's done because when you speak it into existence, it happens.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Thank you, Sister Carol Joyner, your leadership and pulling this all together and the whole coalition you put together. I'm honored to follow Melody Campbell. Oh my God. I'm just like, oh, I love that sister. And Rosa DeLauro, you know, you're a leader as a representative. This is some serious stuff. I won't say the word because God is still working on me. From my union, 2 million strong, the Service Employees International Union is straight up all about this fight.
Yes.
We actually believe that we deserve more than just paid family leave, but to stay on topic, it is really about what the rest of the world is doing. You know, there are European countries, African countries that actually have paid family leave. What the hell is wrong with us?
Right.
What is this about? We deserve to make sure that we have a way to make sure that our folks in this society have a way to build their families, make sure that they have a way to make the world better with their own opportunity to contribute to society, and they don't have to worry about how they're going to make a living, how they're going to take care of their families. This is just like basic human rights. Like, let's not be stupid about this. Capitalism does not have to be so inhumane. And I actually believe that these investments will help address our nation's growing care needs by creating more good union jobs. We need to do that too.
and we need to make sure that we are dealing with climate resistance. There's a whole lot of stuff we're trying to get done. But we got to do job one and make sure our families are taken care of. So we are in this coalition. We're in this coalition, in this fight, and we won't be deterred when folks talk about it's going to cost too much money. That's some bull.
Yes.
These corporations are making so much money, and they're not paying taxes, and they're not being responsible in the world right now. So let's not play, and let's not act like this isn't really just about greed and capitalism. Capitalism is all good, but it doesn't have to be inhumane. So from our standpoint as a union, there are a lot of essential workers that we're speaking on behalf of: janitors, home care workers, the millions of workers that don't yet have a union that are fighting in the fight for 15. We really want to be a voice for them and lift up their voices. Folks like Brenda Williams. Let me just tell you a story about Brenda Williams. She's a home care worker from Florida with over 17 years of experience. Her work allows people who need care to live with the dignity and independence. Yet, how much money does she make? $10 an hour, without basic benefits. No paid leave, of course. No health care, no nothing. She has to work 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week. You all know the story. You probably have this story in your family. She needs to do this just to survive. She's 61 years old, and her spine is shifted to the right side of her body from literally lifting clients into wheelchairs, off of beds. And she's infected. She had been infected with COVID-19 with no leave and no health care. Just let that sink in for a minute. That's what she's dealing with, and that's just an example of how thousands of workers are dealing with every day. This is our fight.
Yes.
And she's fighting.
Right.
She's fighting back. She's collectivizing her voice with so many other people in the fight for 15 and with all of you, because she believes that she deserves better. So let's do that. Let's make her dream come true. Let's not make it a dream, let's make it a reality. We believe in the whole full care agenda. It's time to make the critical investments in home and community care to improve the lives of aging people, people with disabilities, and the people who provide for them, and link it all together. We can do this. This is a beautiful representation of what we represent across this country. Let's do this, people. Thank you very much. I'm introducing somebody. My bad. Don Heckelbridge from the Policy for Leave for All. I am so sorry. Come on up. Sorry about that.
Dawn Hucklebridge, paid leave for all, representing, I think, last I counted, 27 organizations across this country, on our steering committee, and dozens across the states who've been leading the fight for paid family and medical leave. I'm gonna be loud. Is everyone listening?
Yes.
Are you there? How are you feeling? Thank you, Carol. I want to also thank Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. I don't know if she's still here. What a fierce champion we have had in you. So I want to talk about this moment. Senator Schumer said this summer, this moment comes around maybe every 50 years. As we keep saying, this is a once in a generation opportunity. This is a chance to change America. Leader Schumer said, let it not pass us by. I feel optimistic. I feel possibility.
All right.
I feel hope. But do you know what I also feel? There is a lot on the line.
Right.
More than 700,000 lives lost in a pandemic that we are still in. more than 5 million women's jobs lost. You know, we've been living through so much. Do we stop and think about that? What is happening in each of our lives, behind closed doors, our neighbors' homes we walk by every day? We have survived a lot. Women who have carried us, women of color have been hit the hardest, women who still carry us through this crisis, often risking their own health and their own lives. And what have they gotten in return? An unprecedented caregiving crisis. Things that can undo generations of progress in this country. And to this day, in America, in a pandemic, we remain one of the only countries in the world that guarantees no form of paid leave for its workers. Why would it even be a question whether we pass this bill or not? So I want to say it again. I say this every day, and I'm going to keep saying it. There is no real recovery. There is no rebuilding at all without real investments in care and without paid leave for all. An economic agenda that leaves women, working families behind, that is going to fail each and every one of us. And women, caregivers, and working families, we're watching. Paid leave is a tool for public health, for economic resilience and growth, and for racial and gender equity. It is also one of the most widely supported policies in this country. It is one of the most widely supported policies in this entire package. There is a lot on the line, and there is no excuse. It is not just the right thing to do, it is simply common sense. So I want to be very clear about this. I hope that Congress is listening, the administration is listening. You cannot say you care about racial and gender equity. You cannot say that you care about family values. You cannot say that you care about military families, veterans, small businesses, essential workers. You cannot say you care about the future of work and families in America if you are not out there fighting for paid leave right now. But here's the opportunity ahead of us. We have the opportunity to finally catch up with the rest of the world. We have the opportunity to do something meaningful and truly transformational for every working family in this country. We have the opportunity to pass policies that we know would yield millions of jobs, billions in wages, and trillions in GDP. We have the opportunity to learn something about what should matter most after what all of us have lived through. What a gift we can give each other. We can ensure our collective survival and our growth. We have the opportunity to leave a powerful, profound legacy to finally make history together by passing paid leave in the United States.
Right.
We know that the people see this clearly, don't we? Do you see it clearly? We hear from them every day. We know that the voters see this clearly. We poll them all the damn time. We need to hear right now that every leader in the administration and in this Congress sees it clearly too. Can we make them hear us? Do you think they can hear us? Do you believe that we will win? Do you believe that we will win? Then let's get this done.
What a powerful sense of clarity. What an amazing speech. Another round of applause for Dawn Huckleberry, our amazing director. The Pay Leave for All campaign, just so you know, started just as the pandemic was getting going. In fact, we built the campaign basically on Zoom with lots of national partners. Raise your hand if you're connected to Pay Leave for All. I see many of our partners out there.
And we built it on Zoom. We built it not knowing what the future would hold. And Dawn steered us through all of that for the last 18 months. And we thank her and we love her. Thank you, Dawn. So this part of the agenda, we're going to look at very rapid fire speeches. We are going to look at equity in this section. From day one, family values at work, paid leave for all, everyone fighting around paid leave, we were in agreement that this policy has to be equitable. It's got to have progressive wage replacement so that people can put food on the table when they can have paid leave. It's got to have a good family definition. It's got to include all families and recognize all families. And it's got to have an eligibility that doesn't exclude anyone like so many of our policies have had in the past. And so we're going to be focusing on equity for the next couple of speeches. And for the first person to come up and discuss that, we'll have Ashley Bostic. Ashley is from Savannah, Georgia. She is a leader in 9 to 5 Georgia, one of the anchor groups to Family Values at Works Network. She's also a member of the powerful Voices for Workers group. Now, Voices of Workers was created as a part of the Paid Leave for All campaign as well. Everyone here who's a Voices for Workers member has been, raise your hand if you're here. There's a couple of you guys here. You've been training, you've been speaking all over your state, you've been doing press, you've been literally holding the administration and the Congress accountable for equitable paid family and medical leave. So here's Ashley Bostic coming on up.
What happened to me happens to a lot of women of color. Maybe there's not a sign that says whites only can apply, but occupational segregation limits the jobs you can find. I worked in retail when I was pregnant with my first daughter. Only to be told that I was not eligible for FMLA because I was a part-time employee. They let me go. Having a baby with no job, no money is really stressful. I had to support myself on student loans. I didn't realize at the time that I was creating such financial bondage, which now I have to work multiple jobs just to make sure I cover the interest. And with my current job, I am eligible for FMLA, but of course it's unpaid. So when I had my second daughter, I went back to work much too soon. Even having difficulties with diabetes and blacking out, I still went back to work. My daughters needed their mom, but they also needed a roof over their heads. I'm proud to be here on behalf of 9 to 5 Georgia, saying if we care about racial and gender justice, we need paid family and medical leave. Yes, Ashley, yes we do. Care can't wait. We can't wait. Paid leave for all people. And up next, we have Yadi Sanchez. Hi, everyone. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. I said, what do we want? When do we want it? Now. That's right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Carol and the Family Values at Work team for putting this event together at such a critical time. I'm here today to advocate for pay leave, for our families, for our familias, for our communities. I'm here specifically for the Latinx community and Latinas. The pandemic has shed light to so many disparities that we already knew existed. It has shed to so many inequalities, from a pathway to citizenship for essential immigrant workers, to the much needed pathway, to the burden that is placed on working families when expected to work and take care of our families. Like so many families, my family, a few months back, my mom had a heart attack and I flew right away to be by her side. My stepfather had to make a decision whether he went to work to get a paycheck to pay the bills and have money to pay for my mom's medicine, or be by her side at such a very critical moment in unfortunately in our family. And obviously he chose to be by my mom's side. And like so many families, not just through the pandemic, because this has been for the undocumented community, for mixed status families, this did not just happen because of the pandemic. Years pre-COVID, immigrant families have had to make that decision every single day. And we need to make sure that we are including, we're advocating, we're making sure undocumented communities, essential workers, mixed status families are all included on pay leave for all. Because of the lack of paid leave during the pandemic, our community has lost lives. Access to paid leave can be a lifeline for the Latinx community and other communities, of course, whether recovering for COVID or tending an ill child or loved one. The reality is that women of color bore the brunt of the job losses during the pandemic. Latinas' unemployment rate was 5.6 compared to the pre-pandemic rate 4.9 just February 2020. We need paid leave because we need the agency to be there for our loved ones. We need to have the agency to take care of our own health. Stand with us today and say enough. Basta. Call your senators. Tell them it's time to pass the Build Back Better Act with paid leave for all. And now it's my pleasure to introduce spoken word artist Carolyn Newhouse. ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede?
How y'all doing?
How you do?
That was kind of okay. We about to get into some poetry. Let's try that again. How y'all doing?
Hey!
Awesome. My name is Carlin Newhouse. I'm so blessed to be able to be here today to support the cause that y'all are doing. I'm here representing Busboys and Poets. Does anybody know who Busboys and Poets are? Hey! Okay, so y'all know the vibe. Has anybody been to a Busboys and Poets open mic before? Yes. So if you've been to a Busboys and Poets open mic before, you know that it's an interactive experience. So this is a community conversation. Just like you guys have been having conversations with each other today, I want to have a conversation with you guys. So I'm going to share with you guys 2 short poems. The only thing I ask you guys is to respond in some way. So you can snap, you can say, word, I heard that. The only thing I don't need you to do is be silent, because if you're silent, I think you hate my poem. And that's not fun for anybody, right? So if we can respond in some way, then that's what we'll get into. This first poem is called All the Places We'll Grow. And it's about all the ways that we continue to exist and thrive, even in the places that maybe we weren't supposed to, and the environments that didn't feed into us, such as environments that we're living in right now, right? I was always taught in school that all plants need water and sunlight to grow. And while this is mostly true, the most fascinating things are those that break the rules. The evening primrose is most known for the fact that it blooms at night. Burst open, yellow bloom, tiny sun, what a flower's resilience. To come alive even when no one is watching. How many of us are like this? Coming alive when no one is watching, blooming in the most unlikely of places. It is easy to bloom when everyone sees you. When the sun smiles good morning, when you are bright and full and celebrated, it takes strength to be blossoming in the dark. We have become vulnerable in places that were not meant for us to unfold. So many of us are flowers. Provide color and fragrance and expect nothing in return, but flowers need roots. And how many times has the world been infertile ground for us, especially now? How many times have we been uprooted, replanted, called it relocation, migration, movement? The world has been harsh for us. Dry air was never meant to be the perfect condition for petals, but somehow we always find fresh water and call it safe. Call it new, call it ours. Yes, sometimes you got to plant yourself. There's a thing known as self-sown seedlings. Annual plants like poppies glow their entire season. Their seeds drop and poof, an entire generation is born. The wind blows and they wind up in sidewalk cracks, paths of gravel, even in fields of other flowers. They grow on their own, become their own home. Don't that sound familiar? So much like humans in that way, like underdogs, like brown folks, like activists. These volunteers become alive in all the places the world would tell them to die. And how many times have we found sanctuary somewhere we did not expect? In concrete cities, brick buildings, even in the home of the honey of another person's voice, even in the storms. finding peace in the silence between thundercracks, in the eye of the hurricane. So many times we did not expect to bloom, like a rose sprouting from the concrete, but look at us, still here, still blooming, still a flower's resilience despite everyone's expectations. They gave us hollow and we made a home. Sent a tornado and we planted roots. Sent a flood and we made a family. Gave us desert and we created a garden. Look at us thrive. Can we make a community out of anything? Oh, the places will grow. Y'all still with me? Say word. This next short poem is called The Sky is Falling. I wrote this in a particular transitional period in our country where a lot felt like the world was ending in a lot of ways. I wrote this poem because I wanted to talk about how sometimes the ending of things is actually the start of something better. And this reference may be something that y'all remember, so I just want to ask, do y'all remember Chicken Little? Yeah? You remember him? You remember when he warned his whole town the sky was falling, and they did not believe it. You remember a few years ago when we warned everyone this rich man would do us in, and they did not believe us, the sky is falling. Can you hear it? It sounds like Twitter feeds and police sirens, the sky is falling. Can't you hear it? It sounds like handcuffs clinking and rich men laughing. Can't you hear it? Our ancestors screaming, our children asking all the questions they cannot answer. The sky is falling, the country is falling, which is to say this country has always been falling. We have seen the breaking before. We have seen splattered church walls and gun chambers, but we know how to build beauty out of destruction, how to make home out of hollow when the sky is falling. But we have seen this before. Let the sky fall. Let us see all the stars. We will not waver. This howling wind will not be stronger than our hope. The world is ending. The sky is falling. Thank God. I am tired of this earth. I'm ready to start a new one. The sky is falling. The world is ending, but it will begin again. We will build a new world out of the ash, but let us not forget the fire. We will build mosaics out of the shards, but let us not forget the breaking. This cycle shall not continue. The world has ended so many times. We know a breaking, a falling, a bending. Yes, we have heard of the end. But what is the end of something if not the beginning? Let the sky fall. Let it give birth to something new, something bright and beautiful. Let every bullet be sucked into space. Let the sky fall. Let the new one be beautiful. Praise all that is new and holy. Praise all that lifts us. Let the new world hold us better than all the ones before. Let the sky fall. Let us prepare for the new beginning. Amen. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Carla Newhouse. Find her as Busboys and Poets. Also, lots of pieces of hers on YouTube. Look for her. This is our paid Power of Paid Leave segment. Why? Because we believe deeply that both physical structure and the care agenda require paid leave in order to make any of it work. Our first speaker is Pamelia Tony Boss from Roselle, New Jersey. She's active at New Jersey Citizen Action, an anchor group of Family Values at Work Network, and also a member of the Voices of Workers. You'll see a theme here. She is also very active as a paid leave for all activist in New Jersey. And I adore the time that I spend with her every time she comes to DC. Pamelia?
Hello, everyone. My name is Pamelia Tony Boss. I'm from Roselle, New Jersey. I am the mother of 7, the grandmother of 19, and the great-grandmother of 2. I'm here today to tell you a little story. About 10 years or so ago, I was diagnosed with cancer twice. I needed somebody to take care of me. I had a job and I had paid leave, sick time and all of that, but I needed my daughter to take care of me. And unfortunately, she didn't have that. The first time I was diagnosed, she had no leave at all. So she had to take a day here and a day there, whenever she can get away to be with me. By the time I was diagnosed the second time, The New Jersey paid leave law kicked in, and she was able to take care of things. Not only take care of me so I could heal, but to be able to take care of her family because the leave was paid. I needed her there with me. She knew when I was in pain and I didn't have to say a word. She knew my taste because I'm a very picky person. So she knew what to say and what to do. One of my surgeries was extremely personal, and I definitely did not want a stranger, somebody that did not know me, there with me. She left her job, stayed with me for a while, and she took care of me. And I'm telling you, there is nothing in the world like having a family member or somebody that you love take care of you. They know your needs, your wants, and they are there for you. You're secure, you feel good because you trust this person. You know this person. But when that leave is paid and you don't have to give up your job, you can still take care of your family, it's even more important. So I'm hoping that we can persuade these people out here to pass that. We need it, and we need it bad. So I need y'all to rise up, speak, tell them how important this is. Because I'm telling you, a family member or a loved one taking care of you and being able to keep their job and get paid in the process, there's nothing in the world like it. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Amanda Brown.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Amanda Brown Lehrman, and I am the Executive Director of Supermajority, which is a women's equality organization bringing together women across age, race, background to demand change in our country. Who's with me? Paid leave is a common sense policy. It gives people the time and the support and the space that they need to take care of the curveballs that life just throws at us. Yet for generations, this has not actually translated to access. Let me tell you some numbers. 81% of Americans do not have paid family leave through work. 81%. 60% don't have access to personal medical leave. That's ridiculous. Yet, as we continue to struggle amidst this pandemic, women are bearing the brunt of its impact. Women of color disproportionately. This pandemic has disproportionately pulled us from the workforce, taken our children out of schools and put them at our kitchen tables where we're then responsible for being their teachers, and placed significant burdens on every single person in our family and in our household. We need paid leave to get out and get back on our feet. We needed it before this pandemic, and you can be for damn sure that we will need it as we are recovering from this pandemic. This is an essential part of the Build Back Better package. We cannot and we will not recover without paid leave for all. As part of the sandwich generation, we find ourselves caring for our aging parents, for our children at the same time. And paid leave has saved me. I have my own personal testimony of being that daughter for my mom when she got sick. 10 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer and she was given 2 years to live. My sister and I scrambled to be able to be there for her. I had literally just started a new job and I had to go to a boss that I did not know and say, I have to go home. I have to go home for 6 weeks. And to be honest with you, I'm going to have to go home every single month for the next 6 months for 2 weeks at a time. And I need that. And my boss was nice. We did not have a paid leave policy on the books, but she was able to afford me that benefit. And I honestly would, without that support, I would have lost my job. I would have lost the income that I had as a 27-year-old kid just trying to make it in the world, and honestly would have put my career at a standstill. Paid leave is essential. It is life-saving. It is transformative. And so are the policies in President Biden's Build Back Better agenda. We need the expanded child care tax credit, which would put money back in families' pockets and keep our children out of poverty. We need affordable child care, and we need universal pre-K. Have a testimony for that too, which would enable mothers in particular to stay in the workplace and provide for our families. Without these policies that support women, our government will continue to undermine the women, and especially the women of color, who overwhelmingly make this country run. Generations have been calling for this support, and we're too close to getting it to be able to even think about backing down now. I'm going to say that one again. We are too close to back down now. A better transformative future is within reach, and that future would be one where the childcare burdens and illnesses that kept our mothers and kept our grandmothers out of the workforce won't keep our daughters out too. We at Supermajority will continue to push our leaders to get these policies over the damn finish line and create a future where our work is valued, where our families are supported, and our government represents us. Women, we are the supermajority of voters. We are watching, we are powerful, and right now, literally right now, is the time to deliver for us. Paid leave for all. It is now my pleasure to introduce Shonda from the Main Street Alliance.
Hey y'all. Hey. This is my first time out my house in 18 months. I try to dress up and I kind of overdid it. It is a blessing and an honor to be on the fight with each of you. You might know Main Street Alliance represents thousands of small business owners across the country. And for more than a decade, we have been prioritizing the health, economy, paid leave, and child care. It's not lost on me because I come from 3 generations of women entrepreneurs who own their businesses. I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I know firsthand what paid leave will do for the Main Street economy. It means that employees can take the time they need to go and care for their family. It means that if I'm a single sole prop, that I can take time off to care for myself as well. My personal testimony is that over a decade ago, I had my first child and I was working in Virginia for a national organization. I needed to take leave. My co-worker, who was also pregnant at the time, was in California. She also needed to take leave. But here's the question I had in my mind. Do I give up my job? Or do I take 2 weeks and go back to work? She didn't have to have that question. Paid leave is an equity issue. Yes. We need to pass this now. Can I say it again? Paid leave is an equity issue. Black women had the highest entrepreneurial rate before COVID. 2 million women had to leave the job force during the last 18 months. So we need to stand up for women. We need to stand up for Main Street economy. We need to stand up for our workers. And care can't wait. Remember doing me. Care can't wait. Care can't wait. Care can't wait. Care can't wait. Care.
So what I believe Shonda wanted to tell you, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the reason that your coworker didn't have to worry about it is about in California, there's paid family and medical leave. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So paid family and medical leave in California for the last 20 years and in 10 other states in the country. And I'm counting DC as a state because we should be one. Before I move to the next segment of this, I am going to read a statement for all of us. We invited Tammy Baldwin, Senator Tammy Baldwin from Wisconsin. She was unable to make it. We are so fortunate that she sent us remarks to read. This heading says, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin on the need to pass Build Back Better legislation that includes paid family and medical leave. Do y'all agree?
Yes.
All right, she goes, the high cost of childcare and lack of paid family and medical leave has driven workers out of the labor force, and it is costing our economy. Today, 32 million private sector workers, disproportionately women and people of color, still do not have access to paid sick days, and we have an opportunity to change this for the better. And millions don't have access to paid family and medical leave. I am a longtime supporter of the Healthy Families Act, paid sick days legislation to help build workers, communities, and economy health. I am also a strong supporter of passing Build Back Better legislation that lowers childcare costs for working families, creates the first ever federal paid family and medical leave benefit, and expands access to affordable home or community-based care for seniors. No one should have to choose between losing a paycheck and caring for
for themselves or a loved one. Every day, caregivers do right by their loved ones, and we should do right by them. We should seize the opportunity we have to guarantee paid family and medical leave for Wisconsin workers and show we support their health and economic security. Thank you. At this point, we're going to shift to a discussion around the pillars of the care economy, and we know what they are. We are so happy to be here to be able to lay out and hope that the White House and Congress members and some of our moderate friends are listening. If you've ever doubted it, COVID proved to us and to the rest of the world that we need paid family and medical leave. The care economy has existed forever. It's just underfunded. It's held up by women, increasingly women of color, but it's what keeps our entire economic system grinding. If you've ever doubted it, COVID proved this. The first person we're going to have come up to talk about this is Christina Hayes. She's traveled here with her daughter Genesis from Detroit, Michigan. Can I hear Detroit again? Detroit in the house. Where she's a leader in the Mothering Justice Advocacy Group, one of the anchor groups of family values at work, but a bad group of Black women who are fighting for care and equal rights and justice all over Michigan. Christine is also a member of the Voices of Workers group for the Paid Leave for All campaign. Justice and Genesis, come on up. Christina and Genesis.
Hello, everyone. My little one Genesis here is a little shy, but she's here supporting her mom today. I hear people talking about the economy and the need to build back better as a nation as it recovers. But let's be clear, lack of paid leave costs jobs. It hurts all of us, especially those dealing with a disability. A lot of disabilities are invisible. I am one of the many lupus warriors who needs regular treatments and infusions. Lupus is a chronic illness that causes extreme fatigue, muscle pains like fibromyalgia, and extreme arthritis. So there's been days where I could barely walk and I go to work in a lot of pain, but I am still a great employee. At a previous job, I was ineligible for FMLA, I was eligible for FMLA, but it was unpaid. I used all my vacation days. And although most people with a chronic illness knows that those days off are nowhere near a vacation. But the bills kept piling up, so I started skipping my treatments. I stopped going to my chemo that was treating my kidney failure. And it got down to the point where my health made the decision for me, and I passed out at work, and I had to be taken out on a stretcher. Paid leave saves jobs. It also saves lives. It really does. The last thing you need to worry about when you're ill is the stress of worrying about whether you can keep up the thermostat in Michigan winter, which goes -0. Sickness and needing time to care for yourself and a loved one is a universal thing. It touches all of us. It really matters when it's your sister, your brother, your mother, or your father needing to take care of you. I brought my daughter with me here today, Miss Genesis. We're proud to represent Mothering Justice, who's a part of Family Values at Work. Don't ask me if I want paid leave or if I want child care or a child tax credit. That's like asking me if I want my right leg or my left leg to support my body. I need to be standing here as a whole person, as a whole body, with a great structure to support me to be able to live my life and successfully go to work. I can see the change is within reach. The pandemic has extremely highlighted the need to stay home when you're not feeling well, or the need to be able to take care of a loved one. And it can all be paid for if wealthy corporations and individuals just pay closer to their fair share. So once again, I just stand here on behalf of a lot of people that are battling disabilities and people don't know how you feel. Paid leave can definitely help us, and those of us that are in this fight together. I truly appreciate everyone here in the fight for paid leave.
Come on.
Forgot to introduce my person. I am going to introduce Miss Celeste Faison, who's campaigns director for the National Domestic Workers Alliance.
Thank you. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? All right, let's get some of that energy. So my name is Celeste Faison, and I'm the campaigns director at National Domestic Workers Alliance, where we represent over 200,000 domestic workers that are nanny, home care workers, child care workers, and house cleaners. And I'm really happy to be here with you today to talk about why paid leave is important and the interconnectedness to all the other care sectors that we're fighting for in the Build Back Better plan. I want to share a story with you of a home care worker. Let's call her Mary. Mary is 55. She's from North Carolina. She has 2 kids, and she's been a domestic worker for over 30 years. And you would think that if one was in a profession for 30 years, they would, have savings and a pension. But Mary works in an industry where there's no pension, there's not, there is no savings because she makes less than $18,000 a year. $18,000 a year. During the pandemic, Mary's mother got really sick with COVID, and she had to make a decision what she was going to do as her mom's primary caregiver. So she goes to her employer and she asks for time off, and they tell her no. And she had to make a decision that day to leave her job. And the one thing that she requested was if she could just stay on the list for a rotation so when she came back, she would have a job. The next day, she was informed to get her stuff and pick up her last check because she no longer had a job. Mary's mom died a few months later from COVID complications. Home care workers, often women of color, as are the sole breadwinners in their families, and often are caregivers not only professionally but every day in their everyday lives. And yet, with all that Mary does every day, as her mother was transitioning, she had to worry about how she was going to pay her bills, have her lights on, as her mom was dying, right? And that's why we need paid leave. Mary's story isn't unique. 21% of U.S. workers have access to paid leave, and only 40% have access to short-term disability insurance. And that's why we need a meaningful investment in care. Not only on the paid leave portion, but Mary needs to make more than $18,000 a year. Right? And Mary had clients that weren't able to get the care that they needed because there was a shortage of workers, because situations like that create gaps and a need for unemployment, right? So we also need an investment in home and community services, home and community-based services. I should be used to saying that after a year of this campaign, right? So we need an investment so that people who need care can get care as well. And as our organizational leader, Ai-jen Poo, says, we need this big public investment in a caregiving system. We need a public investment in human infrastructure. Child care should be universally accessible and affordable. And home care workers should earn living wages. with benefits and the ability to unionize and advocate for themselves when they need paid leave. We need paid leave, and it should be universally affordable and accessible. And we need long-term supports and services as well. These are the pillars of a care agenda. This is what we mean when we say that it is, in fact, time to build back better. We have to have a meaningful investment in the human infrastructure that makes up this economy. And that's how we get better jobs, job security, and the ability to take care of our loved ones. The only solution most families have to solve the crisis of care is to be uncompensated for their labor. Isn't that crazy? That the only way you can take care of your loved ones is to sacrifice your ability to feed, house, and clothe yourselves. And that's what we want to shift and what we are asking to change in this budget reconciliation bill. We need a meaningful investment. Rosalind Carter used to say quite often that there are only four kinds of people in the world: people who are caregivers or will be caregivers, people who need care or will get care or give care. Most of us occupy one of those quadrants at any given moment. This is not an issue that just affects the poor, working class, and women, although it does affect us disproportionately. So it's time for us to build back better. Everyone say build back better.
Build back better.
Build back better.
Build back better.
It's time for us to prioritize building family infrastructure and to move from viewing this as an individual problem to an opportunity for us all to collectively change the conversation and change the conditions. And when we pass this thing, whether it be 2 weeks or the end of the year, I don't know. But when we do pass this thing, we are going to be able to have transformational change that affects people's lives every day. So let's get to it. And now, introducing Myra from 0 to 3. Who I'm a fan of because she spoke at this rally last month at the White House and was phenomenal, and you moved me. So welcome to the stage.
Before I even start. Hello, my name is Myra Jones-Taylor, and I'm the Chief Policy Officer at 0 to 3, where our sole purpose is to make sure all babies have a strong start in life. We have heard a lot today about this once in a generation, once in a lifetime opportunity. Let me break that down for you, what that means in terms of a policy that we have been thinking about and pushing for and hearing about today quite a bit. Childcare. 50 years ago, we actually passed universal childcare in this country. It passed. It was vetoed by President Nixon. And for the last 50 years, 2 generations, we have been trying to claw our way back to get childcare. That will not be our story again. We will have paid leave. We will have childcare. We will have the child tax credit, and we will have home and community-based services where workers are paid with dignity, and those who get the care can live their lives without having to worry about whether or not they're going to be able to afford the care or go into an institution. Okay, we will get this. This will not be our story because we have been together throughout the last 18 months pushing for this. We will not say 50 years from now, we wish we had, because we will get it this time. For far too long, families have struggled to give their children what they need to thrive with inadequate investment from their federal government. Now we finally have an opportunity to pass a historic, cohesive family policy, a family policy to meet the needs of babies and their families. That means investing in comprehensive paid leave, high quality childcare, and an expanded tax credit. And most importantly, it means passing all three of those policies. Babies cannot choose what they need, and Congress should not be trying to do that either. And let me just say one word about home and community-based services. Although it's not a core issue of what we do at 0 to 3, we fight for it because we know that poverty wages are bad for babies. You hear me? Poverty wages are bad for babies. And so we stand in solidarity with the ARC, and so many members of CARE can't wait to make sure people understand that. Congress has a once-in-a-generation opportunity to go beyond platitudes and finally demonstrate a true commitment to our nation's children, many of whom struggled long before the COVID pandemic. And in particular, we have an opportunity to lift up children who look like me and so many of the people who are presented here today. Black and brown babies who have been shut out of opportunity because of historic racism and disinvestment in our communities. That will not happen again because we are here unified to make sure that we get all of these family policies. So I stand here in solidarity today to make sure we get paid leave, childcare, the child tax credit, which God bless Representative Rosa DeLauro, my former congresswoman. She has been fighting for this for 20 years, and home and community-based services, because it is the right thing to do. And y'all behind me and down the street better recognize we will not finish until we're not done until we get this finished. So thank you so much. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my sister in the fight, Claire Manning from the ARC.
Wow, can I just say this coalition is amazing? Wow, it is so incredible to be here with all of you today. Thank you so much. I am Claire Manning from the ARC of the United States. We are a disability rights organization fighting every single day for the full inclusion and human rights of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Thank you very much. I was pausing, waiting for that. Thank you. Everybody's still here. Everybody deserves access to paid leave. That's right. Nobody should ever have to choose between taking care of themselves or a loved one and a paycheck. People with disabilities and their families are often experiencing greater financial insecurity and barriers to employment that make the threat of and the reality of unpaid leave even more impactful and devastating. I'm now going to share two stories from people with disabilities and their families. This is from Stephen in Virginia. I am an advocate for caregivers to receive paid leave and COVID benefits. I was in a nursing home for 9 years. If caregivers do not get paid leave, they will seek employment elsewhere. As a result, people with disabilities will be forced into nursing homes and institutions, which will violate our ADA rights to live in the least restrictive environment possible. From Carrie in New Jersey. My son has Down syndrome and autism. In June of 2019, he became critically ill with gastrointestinal problems. He was hospitalized for 3 months. I am self-employed and his father was unemployed. We had no access to paid leave. If it wasn't for the generosity of people on Facebook, that's ridiculous, right? We might have lost our home. We almost never left the hospital, taking turns by our son's bed. He was so sick, he needed to be placed in an induced coma and intubated. The trachea has been removed, but the tube is permanent. We desperately needed financial help, and there was none from any government agency. We were left to fend for ourselves. It was our son's longest hospital stay, and he nearly died. There should have been other resources for us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I am very excited to introduce Diane Westier from Caring Across Generations.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I bring you greetings from Caring Across Generations. Caring Across Generations is a campaign that is building a multiracial, multi-generational movement to transform the way we care so that everybody providing care and receiving care is treated with respect and dignity. It's a simple proposition that we're here about today. You value people, If you value people, you invest in people. Our economy and people are interconnected. Our ability to care for ourselves and our families is directly tied to our ability to earn a living. Our ability to earn a living and care for our families in the way they need is connected to the strength of our health and health of our economy. If you're facing a serious illness, we need to be able to take care of ourselves and heal and not have to worry about having to put food on the table or whether you're going to keep a roof over your head or whether, worst of all, you're going to lose your job. Investing in people, investing in our families and our children's needs, investing in the 3 pillars of the care economy: paid, family, and medical leave, child care and early education, and home and community-based services. It's not complicated. We urge Congress and the administration to align its priorities with our families. Yes. People from all across the country have been calling, telling their stories, meeting with members of Congress, begging for the help they need to keep their families afloat. They want Congress to invest in the care infrastructure that will enable them to participate in the workforce and provide the families that they love with what they need and to help grow our economy. I'll end with some advice from my grandmother. She said, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Congress, we came here today to help you get some will. To help you get the fire in the belly and the grit that our families have to show every day just to make it all work. Today, we're rallying for paid family and medical leave, for child care and early education, and for home-based community services. Get the will, get it done. We need it now.
Are you fired up?
Ready to go.
Are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
What do we want?
Yes.
No, wait. I'm gonna say, what do we want? And actually, the right answer is all of it. Okay? Ready? What do we want? All of it. And when do we want it? Now. All right, you all are warmed up to take some action. Ready? Okay, so we have to do this right, because it's all about what it looks like. And there's a lot of us here, but scattered this way, it looks like there's not a lot of us here. So I'm going to call everybody this way in front of me. Let's go. Make sure you have a sign because we're here for a reason. And I need everybody to take out their phones. Let's go. All in here. You should be inside the chairs. There we go. I knew there were hundreds of us. All right, so the action we're going to take, I'm going to start it off. Everyone's going to pull out their phones because I know you're all on social media. You're going to take a picture of yourself or your homies that are next to you. And you're going to post it somewhere, whether that's on Twitter, TikTok apparently, still learning, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know what else. Are there other stuff?
LinkedIn.
Look, post it on your WhatsApp profile picture, all over, okay? And when you take that picture, the hashtags I want you to post at the same time, we're going to post hashtag time to deliver on paid leave for all. Paid leave for all as one hashtag. Time to deliver as one hashtag. But we're going to practice, right? I'm going to take a selfie of all of us from up here so I have a crowd picture. So get your face ready, get your pose ready. That way when you turn the camera on yourself, you're already ready, right? All right. Y'all look good. This is what America looks like, right? This is what America looks like. All right. I'm going to start us off, and then I'm going to give y'all 60 seconds when I'm done to grab that selfie and to post it. And I'm going to follow the hashtags and I'm going to count, and there better be. I know how many people are here. So I'm going to make sure all of us have posted. By the way, that's called a Twitter storm. Oh, look. All right. So I'm going to start us off, okay? All right, ready? Everybody. I think I'm in there. 1, 2, 3. I think I got y'all in there. All right, 60 seconds. Turn the phone on yourself. Get that sign in the background. Get that t-shirt in there. Get your people in with you. Get the fans in there. I see pay leave for all buttons. I see awesome signs. All right, and what we're tweeting is hashtag time to deliver. No hashtag on the on, okay? Time to deliver on paid leave for all. All right, let's give a big cheer if you're done. Woo! All right, let's do this one more time. What do we want?
All of it.
Yeah, all right, that's good. Ready? What do we want?
All of it.
When do we want it?
Now.
Awesome. I think Carol's coming up.
I know you got a selfie, sis.
When I say paid leave, say for all. Paid leave!
all.
Paid leave!
all.
Paid leave!
all.
All right, this is our last segment, folks. We're going to rock this through a COVID segment because we all know what we've been through for the last 18 or more, 19 months, with more than 600,000 people gone. An economy that is just beginning to teeter back with a lot of difficulty. 6 million women, many of them, most of them women of color, having lost their jobs, still having fights about whether you wear masks or don't wear masks in schools. We will find our way out of this. I believe that. But not without paid leave, not without childcare, and not without an infrastructure for care that considers all of us. Our first speaker in this segment is Gail Gardner, a leader from the Florida Black Women's Roundtable, who has been deeply involved in ensuring her elected officials and community members know the cost of not having paid leave in that state. Gail?
What do we want?
Paid leave.
All of it. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
All of it.
When do we want it?
Now.
All right. I am so proud of this group. And I want to say to you on behalf of Black Women's Roundtable in Florida, and of course our leader here, Melanie Campbell, and our Florida leader, Solandra Benton, that we are with you all the way. Can I say something to you as being part of the state of Florida? That we, and I've heard stories all that sound like ours. There were people that went to work one day during COVID and had to come home to try to not just raise children. Now I got to be a teacher who only could qualify for a job in hospitality because they didn't have the education or the degrees to go on further. Therefore, you had bigger problems. So now, through the frustration of all of that, you find out that you're not going to get paid. Thank you. You're not going to get paid. You can hear me now. Yes, I was afraid that I wouldn't be tall enough for the mic. And so with that, these people now were sitting home all of that time, hoping they had something coming in. They would get the CARES Act, yeah, but they still had bills piling up. Then they had
problems with, and I'm not going to mention any names, but just getting some state unemployment, and we had the time in Florida trying to keep things holding it together. I'm here today to represent those people, those who had to go back into their jobs and not knowing if they had one, but when they did, they still had problems at home. They still had sicknesses going on at home. They still had to send their children in other places. I'm speaking on behalf of those who did not have paid leave, those who couldn't take off 12 days, those who went from one child to the other or one relative to the other with this germ and this virus going through. And I say on their behalf, what is this? Why is this happening? But at the same time, they don't want to take it. Someone needs to speak up for them. I thank this organization, this coalition, and for Black Women's Roundtable, where we are disproportionately going through this by numbers, and people of color, Latinx, all of us are feeling this, especially in the hospitality industry. My state is a tourism state, okay? You had to go back to work whether you liked it or not, just to keep money rolling into bigger departments and bigger government coffers. But I'm saying to you that they didn't do very well at home because of the backup, and there was no paid leave. I am a retired educator. I had it pretty good before COVID came. But I saw other people who were still working and still trying to make it. Even I took on a part-time at one time. When they cut funding for everything and the people did not have what they needed, it was a hassle. They still had to try to make ends meet. There was no 12 days. There was no keeping Johnny at home because he had 2 coughs in the classroom. They had to keep him home, and they had to stay with him. Then child care was something that they no longer could afford because they weren't working. And then their jobs were sized down because there was not enough work to go around, so you were handpicked how long you were going to stay. COVID came in, all right, but I'm here to say that it is up to this government, this one that we have stuck by, this one that I, as a baby boomer, can remember and go back further than this, that we've been in this fight for a very long time.
That's right.
I'm sick of it. I don't want to leave this earth without knowing that you have handled and taken care of this well. I don't believe that it is prosperous to any of us. And I believe that right now, COVID or with no COVID, that paid leave is long overdue. It's long overdue. As women of color, women who have stuck to these jobs, who are the ones who are taking care of families, we need to make it stand clear that we are not going to take anymore. We're not taking this anymore. It will not go any further. And we're going to stand alone or stand together and make sure our voices are heard, from the White House and on to the schoolhouse and on to the jobs that some of them have left. These people and their stories go further than we could ever imagine. So I'm saying to you, I don't have time to tell you every story, but can you imagine not having the education that you need and working what you can? And if you came from across the water and you have a green card, you needed a job. And so with that, you now work helping to keep our hotel's room clean, and being grateful for that. But now one day you don't have it. And COVID came in and showed us just how bad it was. So I'm saying to you, we must come together. We must stick by this. And we must not let Congress get away with it. We cannot, again, I hate to hear them talk about we don't want any socialism in this country. We are people. It's not even about politics. It's about doing the right thing. It is not about what side of the aisle we're on. It's about doing what's right. And so we stand together with you. We lock arms, Black Women's Roundtable, and everyone else who can stand and see that this is the way we're going to have to get it, and we're going to have to make it plain to them that we're not taking anything less, and we're going to move in that way. How about you?
Yeah.
All right. I believe it. What do we want?
All of it.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
All of it.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
All
Miss Heather Arnett, and we thank you for today. Woo!
Thank you, Gail. And thank you, Carol and Sammy and everyone from Family Values at Work for setting up today with so much work. My name is Heather Arnett. I'm the CEO from the Women and Girls Foundation, and I co-chair with Sam Jones, who's here from Rock United, the Pennsylvania campaign for paid leave for all. You know, the recent COVID-19 crisis certainly made it painstakingly clear how the lack of paid leave can devastate, economically destruct families and businesses and communities and our nation's economy. Last year, crisis levels of unemployment and long lines at food shelters, food insecurity resulted from workers lacking access to paid leave. But COVID-19 didn't create insecurity. It didn't create inequity. It just exposed the current system for being inequitable and inefficient and unhealthy and unsustainable. Systemic racism, thousands of years of systemic racism, economic and healthcare inequalities made Black and Brown communities disproportionately at risk to become critically ill with COVID-19. And yet 40% of people of color had no access to paid leave when the virus hit. In addition, the pandemic devastated women economically, especially women of color. In total, more than 2.3 million women were pushed out of the workforce since the pandemic began. And yet, women have been slow to re-enter the workforce. Why? Because it's incredibly hard, near impossible, to take a new job while you know full well that at any time a family member may become ill and need care from you when you have no access to paid leave at that new job. Well, members of Congress talk about not wanting to invest in entitlement programs, but they are the ones who are currently enjoying entitlements. Members of Congress, they have paid sick days, vacation days, family and medical leave, health, dental, and vision insurance. And those things, they are all paid by we, the people, by taxpayers. We want to know which of those programs are they willing to redline? Are they willing to cut in the name of fiscal prudence? Next time a health crisis occurs in a community or in a family, mainstream businesses cannot go down in crisis because a Congress decides that only they are entitled to these benefits. Senator Manchin, I have come here all the way from Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is the Keystone State. It is also the birthplace of Mr. Rogers. And you know what? Mr. Rogers taught us all so very much. And most of all, he taught us to take care of one another. He taught us what community meant. And he taught us how to be a good neighbor. Well, Senator Joe Manchin, I'm here today in our nation's capital to ask you to be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
Working families in Pennsylvania, in West Virginia, and across this great nation need you to look into your heart and support paid family and medical leave. And we need you to support affordable child care and expanded medical leave for our elders, because these are things that all families need, not just millionaires and billionaires. They are critical building blocks for families and communities and our nation's economy. In places like West Virginia and Pennsylvania, nothing matters more than family. Being able to take care of your family, your elders, your children, and those who are ill at your own home. And that's not something that only the wealthy should be entitled to. Senator Manchin, our country already has an entitlement program. It's called capitalism, and it's not working out too well for coal miners and steel workers and union workers and teachers and nurses and those who stock our grocery shelves and take care of our parents and children in care facilities. The only people that it's providing for right now are billionaires who don't need any more government handouts. Senator Manchin and President Biden and the rest of Congress, please won't you be a good neighbor?
Yes.
Thank you. And now I would like to introduce Latifah Lyles, Vice President for Advocacy and Survivor Initiatives at Time's Up Now.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Congresswoman DeLauro, to the Family Values at Work, Paid Leave for All, Caring Across Generations, 0 to 3, all of you here today. And one of the things that we've been saying for the past few months is it's time. We've been saying it's time to care. We've been saying it's time to deliver. We have been saying it's time to show up for families. And when we were talking this week about how to really get to the folks who, think of this as an issue that can be picked off, like we can talk about paid leave next year, maybe, or we can talk about childcare in a couple of years. The time to act is now, but the time to care has been for hundreds of years. This is not a new model. This is not a new reality. This is how we were founded. This is how this nation was built. This is how we can afford and have been able, on the backs of our ancestors, on the backs of mothers, on the backs of workers, to make sure that capitalism reigns. And today we know that that model is far long overdue for dramatic change.
Yeah.
When I used to go out, when I was in the Obama administration talking about paid leave or talking about childcare, the most stark thing for me was if I was at a roundtable on childcare, people wanted to talk about paid leave. And if I was at a conversation around home and community-based services, people wanted to talk about childcare. We cannot distance these issues from each other because these issues are not distant for each of us. This is about whole people and whole lives. The stories we heard today were most compelling. Stories of workers, stories of families together, trying to make ends meet. Sometimes people don't want to hear the numbers, but look, this is a worker movement. This is a people's movement. It's a women's movement. And frankly, we have the numbers to back it up. Last month, over 300,000 women in 2021 left the labor force, meaning they were unemployed and not looking for work. All of the net gains in employment last month went to men. September is when kids start school, and surges in COVID cases have been causing closures and delays. If there was ever a moment for us to see the stark reality of today and the deeply inadequate support systems that we have too long had to live with, had to bear the brunt of, the structure, to me and to all of you here, the time is now and is so crystal clear, but it also is long overdue. Without access to reliable childcare or the ability to take paid leave or time away from work to care for our families, our employment suffers. Our security suffers, our safety suffers, our health, and our society overall suffers. The gains of the summer recovery are not lasting for us. This is not progress. Some of us are lucky enough to be treading water, lucky enough, while others are drowning. We have known for decades that in order to fully participate, for true equity to exist in this country, we have to give caregivers a chance. We have to care for our children. We have to give workers an equal shot and a level playing field. We're playing up the hill. The goal's being moved. We have saddles on our back. None of this is fair. In order to bring women back into the labor force and to bring us back together, more secure, more stable, we need to access these critical programs, all of them together. Caring for children, our elderly, ourselves, people with disabilities, is a societal responsibility. It should be a public good. It should be the norm. Our economy can't be competitive if women can't participate, if care workers can't participate, if we can't afford to pay a living wage to the people that take care of our loved ones. We cannot compete globally. We cannot continue to suffer. The time to care is long overdue, and the time to act is now. No recovery will be just unless we think of all of these issues, and Congress, the White House, the leaders who made their promises, deliver. I thank you all for joining us today. We can do it. We can't do it by ourselves, but we can do it together. Thank you.
Oh, hi. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have so many different groups and organizations and individuals to thank. We know you've heard so many stories today. You've heard the statistics. You've heard what's going on the Hill. This is not the time to grow weary. This is the time to actually lean in even deeper. This is the time for your member of Congress to know your name personally. When that person picks up the phone, they should say, "Oh, you again?" Like, that's how much we need to be calling and demanding the things that we know we need for our families. And to close us out, I'm having a little fangirl moment, so you have to give me a moment. I get to bring up B. Steadwell. She is an incredible singer, songwriter, filmmaker, overall artist right from the district. And if you've never heard of her before, shame on you, but find her, and now's the time. And she gets to close us out. So welcome up, B. Steadwell. Show some love.
Hey, y'all. So I feel that we all agree paid leave for all is what's up, right? It's regular basic human rights that we deserve. So I'm just gonna close it out with a few songs, just to ease your mind, just to enjoy this moment, and really put a prayer into the air, into the atmosphere, into the city, that we get these basic rights. Okay. All right. So. Been without it for so long. Forgot what it feels like. Been in the darkness till you came along. Showed me the daylight. Yes. And now I try so hard, but I can't shake it. Ooh, no. Oh, no, I can't shake the memory. I can't fake it. Ooh, you remind me of something. Something that I used to feel myself. Something that I used to feel like a heartbeat racing, like a new beginning. You remind me of something else, something that I used to feel, something like what I've been missing. Oh, like what I've been missing. Oh, something like what I've been missing. Oh, so long I didn't know the difference. Ooh, till you came around to remind me of what I've been missing. Okay, that was the first one. All right, so now we're going to do two more songs and we will become a choir, okay? You sound skeptical, but it's about to happen because we need you. All right, so raise your hand if you like to sing. Okay, yes, all right. I need all of y'all to just come a little closer. No, don't be scared. No solos here. No, y'all are gonna yell sing. That's what's gonna happen. All right, raise your hand if you sing in the shower and it's not very good.
Yeah.
All right, y'all need to come closer. You're gonna sing too. Don't be scared. Just a little bit. We're about to be a choir, okay? So this next song, that first song was a little piece of a song by Emily King called "Remind Me." She's great. This next song is one of my songs. It's called "Greens." It's all about planting greens in your garden, picking them for your loved one, for your family, for yourself, and being healthy.
Okay, so there are a couple things I need from you. I'm gonna ask a lot. I'm sorry. There's a dance move during the chorus. It's okay. It's very simple. So this is it. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. I'm gonna give you the best greens. This is you picking greens, and you can get crazy. You can do a little. It's kind of like the shopping cart. You can do a little. All right, get creative. And then the other thing I need is for you to sing. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. Snap, snap. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. You wanna try it? Go ahead. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. All right. And the people who hold up. The people who raised their hand first are gonna sing, I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. That's a little harmony, y'all. All right. You wanna try it? People who raised their hand first, the professionals, let's try it. 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. And then we add in the bottom. Let's go. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. Do it with some passion, real loud. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. Without Mika, let's hear how you sound. Ready, and I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. I heard a third harmony over there. All right, okay. So y'all ready? You're gonna do that the whole song, and you're gonna do the dance move on the chorus. I need you. I swear I need you. Okay, please. We cannot do this alone. You heard what they said. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. A little louder with some passion. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. Da 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 dee da da da. Keep going. Huh? You got that dark green love. Oh, do. You got that summer sweet. Look at this kid. He's got it. Oh yeah. Huh? I've got the greenest thumb, and I promise when you come, we gon' be planting seeds. Ready for the dance move? Planting seeds, babe, 'cause I'm gonna give you the best greens in my garden. I'll pick the biggest leaves. With more passion, I'm losing you. I can hear it. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna give you the best greens in my garden. I need you healthy for me. More passion. Healthy for me. Huh? I wanna keep you here. Yes, for 100 years, yeah. I wanna run through trees. I want you running right in front of me. Let's go and play with dirt. Let's go and save the earth. This love is so alive. Breathe in the freshest air. Yeah. Come on, breathe it in. Bathe in this sweet sunlight. Gonna swim in it. Ooh, honey, get you some. I promise when you come, my garden gives you life. Okay, with passion, this is the end of it. Let's go. Yeah. I'm gonna give you the dance move. The best greens in my garden. I'll pick the biggest leaves. Yeah, everybody do it. I can see y'all not doing it. I'm gonna give you, I know you want to do it, the best greens in my, there you go. I need you healthy for me. All right, 3 more times. We're gonna close it out. Hey, I'm gonna give you the best greens in my garden. I'm gonna give you the best greens, the best greens. I'm gonna give you the best greens. Yes, choir. Oh, y'all are amazing. Yes. Leopard print. You did it. I love it. We have to embrace the joy as well as the struggle. I mean, we need this, but we also need joy. All right, so we're gonna close it out with Ella's song. Ella's song is the song that goes, "We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes." Does anyone know that? Raise your hand if you know that. Yeah. Y'all don't believe in freedom, I guess. All right, so what we'll do, since y'all don't know the song, you've never heard it, we're gonna jam out with another harmony like we did before. So, and I would encourage you to just sing what you want to sing, add a part, get a beatbox in, get some percussion in, do something, because this is our choir and we're closing out the day with some joy and some passion, okay? Y'all don't look convinced. I don't believe you. Are you with me? Do you want to leave right? Okay, let's do this. So we can try. We who believe, everybody, we who believe, you stay strong. We who believe, keep going forever. We who believe, keep singing it. We who believe with a punch. We who believe. Oh, yeah. We who believe. And the people who are professionals. We who believe. We sing. We who believe. Okay, we're losing it. We who believe. Are we there? Are we there? We who believe. All right, hold up. Cut it. We who believe. Yes, let's stay there. We who believe. Yes. We who believe. The professionals. We who believe. You can sing it like we who believe. Strong, powerful. We who believe. All right. Where's our percussionist? Who's give me a clap. Somebody give me a clap. Energy. We who believe. We who believe. Add some harmonies. We who believe. Clap to clap, clap-a-dee. We who believe. You want to give us a beatbox? We who believe. Yes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Strong, powerful. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Strong. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. No. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. A little louder. We who believe in families cannot rest. Strong. We who believe in families cannot rest until it comes. No, we who believe in families cannot rest. We who believe in families cannot rest until it comes. Even louder. We who believe in children cannot rest. Yes, high harmony, yes. We who believe in children cannot rest until it comes home. Hey, we who believe in children cannot rest. We who believe in children cannot rest until it comes. Last one. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest. Y'all know it now. You can sing it with me. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until it comes. Come on, join me. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest. Keep going. We're going to keep going. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until it comes. 2 more large rounds. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest. It's a human right. Let's get it. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until it. 2 more times until y'all really sing it. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest. Oh, yes.
We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until it comes. Two more times, louder. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until it comes. Keep going. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until it comes. Two more times again. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until we who believe in paid leave cannot rest. Last time without the beatbox. Come with us. We who believe in free leave cannot rest. We got this. We got this. We who believe in paid leave cannot rest until it comes. Thanks for hanging out with us. Y'all did great. It's beautiful.